Good morning. This is Susan Pinson at the State Department of Education. Thank you so much for joining this morning. We still have a few people that are coming in, so I'm going to keep admitting some people to make sure that everyone comes into this session. This is the session on the OKEdge virtual learning community. And so you are in the right session if that's the one you had chosen off the agenda. So I'm excited to say that we have close to 400 people in this session right now. So welcome, welcome. And we are going to start the actual presentation here in just a minute. Still wanting to let people enter. Some of you may have attended the superintendent's keynote this morning and the student panel, which just recently ended. So want to give everyone just a minute. So hang tight and welcome to this presentation.
Picture was showing up nicely.
Audio. Apparently, I don't know why. Well, AirPods. You don't need the AirPods.
Oh, I'm going to shut it down again and leave it.
It was set up to have your video on, just FYI.
Okay. So just a minute.
You're now live, but I'll get your presentation back up.
Okay, Lacey's hearing the presentation. I'm not.
Okay.
So what we're going to do, we're going to share.
I'm not hearing the presentation either. Me either. Not even seen anything, but just screens changing. Now I have a black, looks like desktop, a blue
Actually sharing this
desktop.
screen, and if you pulled up your video, they'll see you. You can go.
Move these over. Good morning. This is Susan Pinson at the State Department of Education. I hope that everyone can hear me. And if if someone could just put something in the chat box to just let me know that you are hearing my voice. I'm still in the process of admitting people. Good. I'm hearing some goods and hear you. Excellent. Well, welcome. This is a session that is going to introduce you to a really exciting tool that has been created for Oklahoma educators. And so I want to go ahead and launch. I'm going to continue to be admitting people to the session as we're starting, but you should be seeing my title slide. I have provided a link to this presentation, and I have a wonderful moderator, Jill Hilst, who is going to be helping during this session, and she will be populating the chat box, whether you are joining on Zoom or whether you are viewing on the Whova app. But in case you're the type of person that likes to follow along in a presentation and on your computer, then you can go to that bit.ly link that has OKEdge at the back of it, and you can access that. So as we begin this morning, let's see, we're going to advance to the next slide. There we go. I know that this is a very unusual format for a conference, and I know that many of you have not been in touch with your colleagues in person for a long time. So we're going to start off this morning with just a real quick energizer. And with all these emojis here, I'm wondering if there's one that kind of describes how you are currently feeling. And if you could put in the chat box, whether in the Zoom or the Whova, the emoji and then maybe a phrase or a word that goes along with it. So for instance, if you're putting in H8, you know, is there a phrase such as "you're amazed at how fast summer has gone"? So I'm seeing that, oh boy, we're getting some people that are feeling a little anxious. We've got some people that are feeling overwhelmed, H8. Some people are feeling nervous about the school year starting. Oh, we got an F4 out there. Somebody's just chilling. Someone named Dawn. That's great. And we've got some people that are feeling ready to go. We have some people feeling all over the place. Well, thank you for just kind of engaging here. Oh, we've got an A1 out there. Someone's happy and happy to be here. So great. So it's evident that over the past months, you have been exposed to an infinite amount of online tools. And so what I want to do today is provide something for you that is super easy and accessible to you at no cost. So just a quick little introduction. I'm Susan Pinson, and I'm the Executive Director of Professional Learning at the State Department of Education. And I have been here for 7 years. And prior to that, I worked at a Title I school in the Oklahoma City metro area. And most of my career was actually in the St. Louis metro area. And I moved to Oklahoma and have certainly enjoyed my journey in education here. I will put this slide up again at the end in case anyone needs my contact information. Now, I'm curious. I am curious. Okay, I've got to admit some more people here, so just a second. Okay, I had 46 people waiting. Since we have so many people on this right now at about 475 people, it would be impossible for us all to introduce ourselves, but I'm just curious, from what region of Oklahoma are you joining this presentation this morning? We've got some results coming in where I'll share those results in just a minute. Keep admitting people. All right. People are showing where they're coming. Still have a few more people joining. Excellent. And some people are actually putting it in the chat. They're not doing it in the poll, and that's fine too. Boy, we've got people coming from all over. All right, I'm going to end this poll here in just a minute. Just a quick reminder, if you could please mute yourself. We are getting a little feedback. Thank you. All right, I'm going to end the polling here, and it looks like when I share these results with you, we have a lot of people join. The majority of people that responded in this poll, I know we have a lot more that are responding in the chat box, but are coming from that central region. I'm glad to see that we do have every region of the state represented though, including our panhandle. So welcome to everyone. So glad that you are here. I imagine that many of you have experienced Zoom before, but this is just a quick reminder of some navigation features. Those of you that are joining by Zoom, you have the ability to mute and unmute yourself by hovering over a black toolbar. Depending on what type of computer you're on, that toolbar is either going to be at the bottom of your screen or at the top. But during this session, if you could keep yourselves muted, especially since we have close to 500 people in this session right now. It is up to you if you want to have your video on or not. You can control your video sharing here as well. You will notice that there is a place to show participants. If you click on that participant screen, a list of all the participants will come up. And there will be a place at the bottom where there are some controls, such as raising your hand and yes or no type things. If you have a question, I'm hearing some feedback. So again, if you could please mute yourself. Thank you. If you could, if you have a question, you can raise your hand and my moderator, Jill, will annotate. There we go, annotate. All right. So also there is a chat feature there. And so on that chat, you'll be able to engage in chats with everyone. So that's just a little quick navigation of Zoom, and so we will move on. In case you would like to change your Zoom name, when you click on participants, there is a box that has 3 dots there, and if you click on that, you get an option to rename yourself. So if you'd like to rename yourself by putting in your first name, last initial, and then perhaps your role, whether you're a teacher or an administrator, and a counselor, librarian, whoever you are, if you'd like to rename yourself, that's a feature that allows you to do that. All right. I'm first going to have us think for a minute about online professional development. And I want us to think about this in a way that is thinking beyond what our experience with online learning. As we know, I am actually, you know, someone said, can you restart? And we're really at the beginning of this presentation. We did some little introductions, but I'm going to go ahead with the content right now. I have muted everybody, and so we're going to proceed from this current slide. You should be seeing a slide that talks about benefits and challenges. And just a second, I've got to switch. Wait, is that what I want to do? I want to see which screen is being shared here. All right, so I'm going to share screen to current slide. Okay, can you let me know if you are seeing my screen that says benefits and challenges of online PD? Excellent. All right, I think we are back in action. I'm going to move my chat box over and my participant box. All right, Jill, my co-host, is going to drop a link in the chat box. And if you would access the document that she pulls, if you would click on that link, I would love to get your ideas on thinking about professional development that teachers or administrators participate in or help facilitate online. And you should be seeing a document that talks about benefits and challenges. Online professional development has both, and we just experienced a little challenge a minute ago. But if you could a cell, one in each column, and you can actually be typing in that box. Excellent. I see some ideas coming in now. So once you click on the link that Jill has put in the chat box, you should be able to access this document. And in addition, you should be seeing the ideas that are coming in from people. So one of the benefits that some of you are enjoying this morning is no one had to drive anywhere. Some of you, it looks like maybe you've gone up to your school or your office. Some people are enjoying the relaxed dress code, absolutely. So we're seeing that people can have access to more training by participating in it, doing it from anywhere. Excellent. On the challenges side, we're seeing that obviously internet connectivity, it can be an issue. Technology always comes up on that, devices. Someone mentions the lack of contact, and that's absolutely a great example that we've all experienced during our the closing of schools, is that lack of personal contact. Yep, that's coming up a lot where people are thinking about that. And then obviously the tech tools. Collaboration, someone says no childcare needed. Someone's enjoying their cats right with them. The flexibility, great. I'm liking someone's ideas about it's hard to network. It's interesting that online professional development, so often it's touted as something where you can network with people across a state or across a country or even internationally. And there are different ways to define that whole concept of networking. And there is a network that happens for sure, but it's a different type of network. Fear of the unknown. Yes. Excellent. All right. Thank you all for sharing those thoughts. I'm going to go ahead and move back to the presentation now. And I think that the ideas that were raised, you've hit some of the key points spot on. We certainly enjoy the flexibility that online professional development can include, but there is that caution of what kind of tech issues might people run into, and then the question of equity with tech. So does everyone have a device, and is there adequate opportunity for people to participate in online professional development? At the State Department of Education a few years ago, we were given a grant that allowed us to begin an online virtual learning community that we have called OKEdge. And when this learning management system, or LMS, was created, its first purpose was to support schools as they were engaging students in the ICAP, the Individual Career Academic Plan process. And modules were created that allowed students who were exploring different careers to learn about different careers through this online platform. We began to see that there was actually a bigger purpose that this learning community could provide. Some of your districts may have access to types of learning management systems or LMSs. You may have heard of ones like Bloomboard or Canvas. There are products out there that provide online professional development through modules within a platform. The one thing that is different about the OKEdge virtual learning community is the module content on here has been created by Oklahoma educators for Oklahoma educators, and everything on this platform is free. We're going to begin by taking a quick scan through some PowerPoint slides to familiarize you with the platform. And then once we have done that, those of you that have a tablet, laptop, or computer device available, you will be able to actually go on and make an account and begin to explore this. So as we begin to look at what types of modules or learning resources are going to be available on OKEdge, there are different categories that appear, and some of the modules are wide open for anyone to join at any time. For example, when we went into the distance learning phase of our academic year in March of this year, people began to realize we need to provide some resources for teachers right away to support them with distance learning. My colleague Jill, who is moderating this, put together a module called Distance Learning for Special Education. It's an incredible module, and I'm hearing some people say, can you make your screen full? But I'm showing that my screen is full screen. Okay, so I'm just going to move on. Someone made that comment. Someone's saying present the slideshow in full screen mode, but I have other people saying it is in full screen mode. I don't know if that's a difference, whether it's on Whova or Zoom, but I'm getting confirmation that I am seeing it, that people are seeing it in full screen. So I'm going to keep going. Also during this distance learning time, OSDE had a partnership with OETA, and we created a module that highlighted resources that were available on the OETA station, PBS Learning Media. And there was a module there that's still available that shows how those learning resources can be used with students. There are also modules that are open for content areas such as math. There's an example of one is mathematics on formative assessment probes. There are other content areas there that we'll look at in just a minute. And then my colleagues in the Office of School Support have put together some modules, again, available for all, that one is on using data to discover root causes, and another is on promoting growth mindset for student success. All open for anyone right now. But in addition to these open modules, when you get into the platform, which we will in a minute, there will be some modules that you will not see. These modules are currently closed or targeted for a specific audience. For example, the topic of school safety and security has been very important in recent years. And this module that has been created is one in which anyone in a district who is wanting to earn a micro-credential or a certification that they have gone through a safety and security program, this module is a very involved one that district administrators who deal with school safety and security can engage in and earn a micro-credential. The reason this module is closed is it's just not wide open for anyone to participate in. You need to have the right role in your district in order to be included in that module. There is a module that is in a pilot phase this year for teachers of English learner students. This EL module is being piloted in about 35 districts, and there are robust resources to help teachers who are working with students who are learning English. And this module content is being tested, revised, tweaked through the pilot. And the goal is to open this module statewide for everyone in fall of 2020. So even though it's closed now, we're getting the feedback and making revisions, and soon that module will be open for everyone. Then also in the Office of Special Education, there is a certification boot camp module for teachers that are working on their special education certification through that pathway. And so only people who are enrolled in that boot camp would have access to that module. So there are open modules, there are closed modules. In addition, there are some modules that fit that bucket of compliance. For example, there are people in schools that need to receive training every year on diabetes management. So school nurses or administrators who are responsible for diabetes management training, every other year they are entitled to take that training in an online format instead of face-to-face. So there's a module that is, again, it's targeted for that audience, but at the end of the module, there is a quiz that has to be passed with a certain proficiency, and then a certificate that's offered for completing the module. We've all heard during the closing of schools the amazing work that the Office of Child Nutrition has done in keeping children fed. And I know that in your schools, you are probably aware of the mammoth task that was, but there are quite a few modules on our platform that you would never see because that may not be your area, but just wanted to point out that this is an example of a module where everyone who is involved in child nutrition is required to take a civil rights module, and that's an annual requirement. And so a module has been created for that, and they can take it right here online. And then, of course, we all tend to laugh about the bloodborne pathogens compliance module that's required every year, but we are even working on getting some of those types of required PD trainings available on OKEdge. There are always modules in development, and in fact, things are developing so quickly. When I put this presentation together to give you an example of a social emotional learning module, this one that's called Pyramid Model, Promoting Young Children's Social and Emotional Health, at the time I was taking my screenshots, this module was still in draft form, and the module has now since been open. So this is one that is open for any teacher or administrator to access. Really rich resources there for those of you that work with young children and thinking about their social emotional health. This one is soon to be opened, all on school climate. And this one is being created in our Office of Student Support with our specialists that deal with school climate and trauma-informed practices. And then my colleague Jill, who's moderating in special education, they are going to be showcasing this module in another presentation this Friday. So you'll want to check back at that presentation. And again, at the time I was taking screenshots, it was in draft form, but this is one that's ready to launch this week on supporting students with challenging behavior using a functional behavior analysis. Probably what you have been seeing is that so much of the content is tailored to exactly what type of professional development educators in Oklahoma need and are seeking. So unlike a commercial LMS where a company is providing the content that is being provided on OKEdge is focused on what Oklahoma teachers are seeking. I want to do a quick little review of what the module will look like when it's open. And I first want to share the screenshots before we go in live to the platform. When you're in the OKEdge platform and you have enrolled in a module, the module will open in a dashboard view similar to this, and there will be 4 tabs going across the top. And those 4 tabs are your main navigation sites. The first tab for content, all the content will appear in a scroll bar on the left side. The content that is being shown here on the right will come out of one of the lessons or units that is currently the next thing that's showing. So this first one, this is highlighted in blue. That means that this first asset is going to provide an overview of this module. In a very light gray, it's going to let you know if that content is a required piece of the module. Some modules provide a certificate of completion with a certain number of PD hours on it. This is something that you can share with your local PD committee as you are working on your professional development hours. And so in order to get the certificate, any piece that has a required next to it has to be completed. The next tab is assignments. Not all modules are going to have assignments with them. Some will have nothing right there in that module, but this is a module where this author of the module has provided some things such as a quick checkup. It might be just a short little question quiz. This also down here, there's a reflection piece, reflect on praising the process. And so there would be a place where you would provide some reflection things, ideas. There is also a discussion board down here where they've created a discussion where people would participate in that. So the ability to interact with the module in your time frame is one of the key flexibility features of OKEdge. Over at the side, it will let you know how far you've gotten on completing the different assets within each lesson. The third tab is a collaboration tab. And some of you mentioned that one of the benefits of online PD is that you can communicate with other people. The networking is possible, but on the challenges side, that networking does take some work. But there is a place for discussions and conversation to occur during a module. Sometimes the facilitator of the module might post something over here and learners could engage by responding to that post. The last tab provides information on the module. It will usually provide an introduction or an overview of what the module is. It will have some words that are used as tags to identify it, and I'll show you how that comes into play in the catalog in a minute. This one shows that it's going to offer 1 PD hour of credit. So someone who completes this module can earn an hour of PD credit. It'll also list who the facilitators are, and it would allow the learner to communicate with the facilitators or email them with questions while they're engaged with the module. So at this point, I'm going to escape out of the presentation, and we're going to actually look at the module live. So you should be seeing a screen that shows welcome, and it's got the OKEdge. It's got a picture of children getting on a bus.
I'm still seeing your PowerPoint.
Okay, and so let's see. It looks like I need to make sure we're seeing the right.
Let's do a new share.
We're going to do a new share here for a second.
One. Yeah,
Okay.
perfect.
Okay, so now you should be seeing that.
Okay.
Excellent. All right. When you arrive at this landing page, if you have never created an account before, down at the very bottom it says need an account, get started. If you happen to be by a computer right now or a tablet or a device, Jill is going to, I think she's dropped the tag. Yes, she did. She dropped the URL in the chat box for you. And she's dropped it in again, osdeconnect.ok.gov, and you can go ahead and set up an account there. I'm going to log in as a learner, just like you would be when you get inside. And for those of you that are setting up an account, you're noticing that you first have to answer just a couple questions when you're logging in. I'm seeing some people, I'm loving the collaboration that's going on in the chat box. People are giving hints to help people try and find things in the window, so thank you. When you first log in and create an account, you will not see any tiles or modules showing in this area. In fact, it's going to give you the message, you don't have any modules yet. The place that you want to look at is there is a word modules here and then the word add. If you click on that word add, you are taken to a catalog. The catalog is going to show you all the modules that are currently open for anyone to join. The catalog has 2 different ways of arranging modules. I did a scroll there just so you could see. When I go back to the top and I'm going to go to this tab of interventions, I'm seeing 4 modules showing, but I actually can click on this link that says view all, and it looks like, well, I guess that we're all that were open for there. And it then is going to take me to all. There is a back button. Instead of using the back arrow button for the internet browser, if you use that back arrow on the OKEdge, it will take you back to the catalog. So one way that I can see all the modules is I can look at the module tiles here. I can click on view all in order to see everything that falls under that tag and use my back arrow. Those of you that would prefer to think more topically, if you scroll down, you will also find some blue tiles that are arranged with these tag words. So you may want to look at these overarching categories in order to find something. So for instance, if you're interested in social and emotional learning, if you click on that tag, it will pull up 2 different modules that have been tagged as social emotional learning that are open right now. And again, if I scroll back up and hit my back button. So one way to find those modules is, I'm going to close that out again, is when you set up your account and you end up on the landing page, you click the add to go to the catalog. Now, I'm going to minimize that for just a second and bring my PowerPoint back up. And I am going to show this slide, and I'm looking for confirmation that you're seeing a slide that says finding a module. Excellent. All right. So what you're seeing on this slide is what we just quickly reviewed, and in a minute you're going to have an opportunity to go back to that platform live. But not only can you click on that ad to find a module, but if you knew the exact title of a module or a word that's in the title, there is a search bar at the top. So I had an original plan, and just like good teachers do, we're going to be revising that plan on the spot. I had a plan that we might go into some breakout rooms and participate in an activity, because in a large group setting, it's difficult for everyone's voice to get in the room, and I value everyone's voice and participation. So since we have close to 450 people in this session right now, instead of going into breakout rooms, what I would like to invite us to do for about the next 12 minutes is, those of you that have access to a device where you can log in to osdeconnect.ok.gov, is if you could go and actually set up your account and find one module to explore. So instead of us being in breakout rooms where we're going to have someone be a focus leader and kind of guide the participants, and a timekeeper and a spokesperson, I'd like to invite us now to just take about 12 minutes, and I will set a timer for that. And I'm going to invite you to go to OKEdge and just start exploring. And if you have any questions or need some help, feel free to unmute yourself and ask a question. You can also populate the chat box. But while we are having this time to explore, I will stop sharing my screen and I'll be available to help people as needed. So let's have a quick little explore time. I'm setting my timer right now. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, and I will see you all back here in 12 minutes.
Susan, if we find a session that we like, I was looking at the OETA one, how do we actually add that module?
All right, a great question. When you click on the module, do you see something coming up that says enroll? Go ahead and click on that module, and thank you for asking the first question.
Yeah, sorry, I muted myself back again, so I had to go back and unmute. I do see enroll.
Is this Ginger who's speaking?
Yes, yes, I am so sorry.
Oh,
yes,
welcome, welcome. Okay, so when you found that module, did you click on it?
Yes, and I see enroll on the right side.
You got it. Go ahead and enroll, and then that module is now added to your dashboard.
Perfect, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Susan, I was wondering, can we suggest things that we want to be added in the future, like things that we're interested in getting PD on that you guys could develop for the state?
I am so happy to hear that question. I'm trying to see who I have speaking right now.
It's Jade Wernberg.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
You're going to be like my audience plant, because after we come back together, just like we were brainstorming challenges and benefits of online PD, I have a document where you can provide ideas for professional development that you want. Absolutely. And that's the beauty of OKEdge is, again, since it's for Oklahoma educators, we can develop anything we want. We have authoring privileges, and I'll be talking in a little bit when we come back after people explore a little bit. I'll be talking about all the different ways that we can use this. So yes, jot your ideas down. I'll look forward to hearing those.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I have just a comment. I'm having a lot of trouble. I'm on a tablet and I can't hardly see yours. It's about the size of a quarter, $1/2. Can't get to any of the links that y'all are sending. What are we going to do when we have students who have these same problems?
Is this Tani?
Oops. Yes.
Is it Tani? Tani, is that right? Okay.
That's right.
Thank you for that question. Yes. First of all, thinking about technology, the OKEdge platform is designed for teachers, and it is not a learning space for students. So first of all, your students would not be going to this site. This is a space for educators to engage in their professional development learning. Your question, though, is so valid for what happens in classrooms, and I know it's something we're working through. Some of our modules on distance learning, certainly that troubleshooting idea of what you do as a teacher who is facilitating distance learning with your students, you know, what you do with those challenges that happen with your students. Tani, I want to tell you that this presentation is being recorded and it will be shared after this Engage OK session. They'll be posted later today or this week. I'm sorry that you're not able to see everything big, but once you get the recorded session, you're going to be able to see everything in its full size. Also, Tani, at the end of the session, if you're not able to see my last slide with my contact information, I'll be sure that gets dropped in the chat box, and I can even do that right now. And so I will be happy to communicate with you through email, through phone, whatever we need to do to get you on track.
I appreciate that. Like I said, I just know that I have students who are going to be in the same boat I am and wanted to get your idea of what we will do with them for next year. So thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
If I could jump in on Tani's question. My name is Sarah I'm from Grove.
Hi, Sarah.
What we are looking at doing, our school just released this morning kind of our return to learn finalized-ish plan. One of the things we're going to do is every Wednesday, we are going to practice with our kids in the classroom like they're at home. So we're going to have all of our lessons going to be online. So if I had a lecture I was going to do, I'm going to have recorded that and the kids are going to watch it. And that way we can physically, while we're able to be together, as long as we're able to be together, hopefully help them learn not only how to get online, how to do Google Classroom, but any of the other programs that we're going to be using as well.
Thank you for sharing that excellent idea. So practicing what is a possibility for the way students will be engaging with their learning. I'm seeing in the chat box that some other people are agreeing to that their other districts are doing kind of a virtual day. Some people are saying, yes. Excellent.
Hi, I'm Kelly, and when I put in OKEdge.com, I get a page, but I don't get the pages that you're showing.
Kelly, thank you for letting me know. I'm going to put the chat, are you in Zoom or Whova? Do you know?
Well, I'm in Zoom on my computer, but I was trying to log in on my phone,
Okay,
And
are you seeing osdeconnect.ok.gov in the chat box? And if not, I can tell you that URL again.
tell me the URL again, please.
Yes, it is osdeconnect.ok.gov. Let me know if you get in with that. Not a .com, right? Yes.
What is after the connect?
osdeconnect.ok.gov.
Nope. It says it can't find it.
Have you put http:// in front of it?
No.
Try that.
Okay.
I'm seeing that someone says that science, nothing has come up yet. You are correct. We do not have any modules yet on science, but we will be getting some created. And there's even opportunities for people out there that are in districts to create modules. So we'll talk about that. Yes. Alicia, thanks for joining back with us. We're on the OKEdge platform and we're trying to find a module and exploring it right now. I'm seeing a question about modules for the arts. Yes, in fact, there was OETA did an art club this summer, and we are trying to take some of their resources and create an arts module. So those of you that come from the arts area, STEM areas, this platform is wide open for us to be creating things. I'm seeing something on health education. Just so you know, our director of PE and health did a book study this summer with some educators, and she didn't create a module for it, but there are other people that have created modules for doing book studies. So health education, that is something that we will, the goal is for us to be able to populate this with all sorts of resources that cover all content areas. So yes, I'm seeing some people that are looking for fine arts, and so I will share that with Elizabeth Mon, our Director of Fine Arts. Alicia, you do need to create an account the very first time you go there, and once you create that account, and it's most helpful if you use a school email address.
Hey, Susan.
Yes, ma'am. Ginger, hi.
This is Ginger again. If I start the module, but I have to step away from a module once I started it, will it just remember where I was?
It
or
sure
once
will.
I start,
The beauty of it is you get to complete it at your own pace, and it will track your progress. So there's no worries. You are able to work at your pace and then leave it and come back and log back in and jump back in that module.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Someone's asking if there's an audio component for all modules. Not necessarily. Some modules have embedded videos. Some modules have where you're engaging with a video that's on a different site. It connects you to a website, and there might be a video there. So I see someone was trying to create an account and it's stuck. It's not finishing the process. I don't know if it's an internet connection.
You may have to verify your email before it'll let you go all the way through. I had to do
good. That. Someone says maybe go check your email, and good. All of these ideas that are being populated in the chat, we will keep I will get this chat downloaded so we'll be able to address them. Someone's saying they did not use their school email. if you didn't use your school email and you don't want to create a different account, you are able to just keep using that account. I don't know if we can connect the email you signed into with another account, but that's actually a question that I am going to be exploring this afternoon on a meeting. The only reason, if your email is there, is that it helps people, the facilitators who are engaging with you, to know which district you work in. ELA modules, yes, we need to have more of those added. There is one that's just coming out for dyslexia. I don't know if that one is live yet. You may be able to see that. And then I have an idea about previously recorded PD sessions being uploaded to OKEdge. Yes, that is another powerhouse option of OKEdge, is we can take any recorded PD session and add it to OKEdge and create a module of it. Okay. Okay, so the dyslexia one, it looks like it's tagged under SPED, but we could also tag that one under reading. So we can continue to update tags. Someone's asking, is there a way to get involved in the creation of these modules? Yes, but I'm going to close this session for us to be exploring in just one more minute, and I'm going to share with you how modules can be created and kind of a focus for that. Patty, I don't know which modules you enrolled in. It says you were you weren't able to get into the module. Let's see.
This is Patty. I tried to log into the OETA and something else. I can't remember.
Okay. And did you get a green enroll button?
Yes, I was able to do that part.
And does the module open now?
Maybe I am back to the problem with the verifying the email. Let me see.
Oh,
if I
maybe.
Can do that may be where you make them.
Amber, I want to address your question when we were talking about students versus teachers being on the OKEdge platform. I want to give an example of students engaging with the platform. Generally, what with the ones that are focused on career ICAP or career or work-based learning, generally counselors or teachers will log into the platform and share those modules with their students about those different careers. This past spring, there was a week that was focused on work-based learning, and our executive director, Chelsea Hunt, led some sessions that were held where there were recordings, and there was a module there on that work-based learning. So the student interaction occurred with the teachers presenting it in the classroom. This is a safe space for teachers to engage. So the content is geared for teachers and administrators. It's, but for the pieces that provide content that teachers want students to know, such as careers, generally the teachers would log in. Let's see. Wayne, it's not letting you log in. Wayne, if you will put your email address in the chat box for me. When this session is over, I will be happy to contact you and we'll figure out how to get you in. If anyone's having trouble getting in, again, I'll put all my contact information at the end. Someone's asking if they'd be notified if new modules are added. That's an interesting idea. Since this is the first major public launch of OKEdge, where we're saying, as the poll showed from the beginning, we have people from across the states, that are joining today. This is our first big public launch, and so that's an interesting idea of how we could inform people when new modules are being added. So I am definitely going to take that idea and do something with that.
I thought that was for the one I sent you here. So
I tried both. Neither one's not.
Excellent. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to, let's see. I want to go back to sharing my screen. So let me do this for a second. All right, go back. I'm toggling between all these different things. So if you're not seeing anything, hang with me for a second. I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. And I'm going to share this screen. And I'm going to go up here to current slide. Which screen is showing right now? I need to switch them.
The small one, yeah.
All right, we're seeing the small one, so I'm going to switch here for my display settings. Come on, there we go. I'm going to swap. All right. Okay, go back to my display settings. Just a second, I want to get my display correct for you.
Somehow it's kicking you out of Zoom when you do that. So let's share the other screen. Can you do that for me?
Or do I need to escape out of?
I have to escape out of PowerPoint.
All right, just a second, bear with me. I'm trying to get the right screen showing.
And get the Zoom back up. Yep, right there.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so we're gonna share screen.
Let's do number one.
Number one, share. Okay, and then we're gonna go from current slide. Do I need to swap?
Let's see if we don't.
Are you seeing my screen big or small now? Let's see. So we can move on.
Perfect.
Okay, looks like we're good to go. All right, so I'm gonna move us ahead, and thank you for sharing your observations, your wonderings, that discussion, all your ideas, so helpful. So some of you were asking about, well, can I get involved in module creation, or how can we make sure that new content is being added to this module? This is for all of us to engage in, and you can see that one of the first focus areas at the top is the PL focus that is part of the TLE system. Everyone picks a particular growth area for the year, and it's up to individual teachers and schools to think about what are the resources that I'm going to use as I focus on this area that I'm interested in learning about. So with PL Focus, this OKEdge virtual learning community may be a place where you are finding resources, or maybe your PL Focus is one where you are going to be doing a dive into a certain topic, and you would like to create a module of everything that you are learning. That is a possibility, and all you will need to do is email me, and we will communicate on how you could become a facilitator of a module. Some of you may not want to facilitate a module, you may just want to engage in modules. So you may be using this learning community as a place to either engage in modules or to actually facilitate, and make that as part of your PL focus. The second strength of this platform is that collaboration piece. By having a place, especially if we continue to have distance learning, but by having a place where resources can be put together in a bundled module that can continuously be revised. That's another benefit of this versus a product that has been provided by a company. Our modules can be revised anytime we need to. We can add resources, remove resources, create new modules. We have the ability to author our own content. And so that collaboration then becomes one where it may be collaboration within a school. It could occur across a district with multiple school sites or campuses, and it could occur across the state. I'm happy to hear that there are a lot of fine arts teachers participating in this today. And I know that fine arts teachers often need to have that sense of community and sharing of resources and instructional practice ideas. A third area where this OKEdge platform can help facilitate is those who are seeking to serve in a leadership role. You may be a teacher who is going to be mentoring new teachers in your district, or maybe you are the district PD coordinator. The OKEdge platform allows a space where if you want to set up a module and you want it closed just for people within your community, your site, your PLC group, whatever it is, you can facilitate leading that module in that forum. And then that last statement about how modules can be created for diverse needs. I mentioned earlier that I've had people now use the OKEdge platform to conduct a book study. In fact, my colleague Jill, who's moderating, is using that platform. I think she just launched her book study this week, and a really strong one on racial and equity type topics. So someone may decide that they want to do a book study. We have had, there is another program that the State Department of Education offers that is called TeleEdge. And this is something where it's a problem of practice that is a deep dive into a certain topic. And all of those sessions were recorded. And so someone in the Office of Accountability said, I want to create a module so that I can take all those recorded sessions and upload all the resources so they're all in one place for people. And so she has been busy this summer creating all these modules from things that were recorded. I had some of you saying, could I create a module? Maybe you have a unique topic that you would like to create a module with or co-facilitate a module. Multiple people can be facilitators on modules. And so I'm happy to walk people through how to set that up. One of the resources that you will find is an onboarding document. And you're going to find this document at the end when we go back to where do I find all the resources from today. And that onboarding document is available to help people figure out how do I set up an account, how do I find modules. But we also have additional information for those of you that want to author modules. You want to create the modules yourself. I have a feeling that there are so many more needs and ideas and creative ways out there that we haven't even considered yet. But so the possibilities there are endless. Now, earlier in the presentation, someone was saying, well, what if we have some ideas for modules to develop? So I'm going to have Jill drop in the chat box again. And I see some of you have already visited this document. That's exciting. This is a space right now, and as well as the chat box, but if you would like to pick a box and put in an idea for a module that you would want, and if you've already put it in the chat box, you can duplicate it here if you'd like. But just thinking about what are your ideas? So I'm seeing some great things aligned with science standards and science labs. Oh, interesting, incorporating virtual science labs. Excellent. Yeah, that certainly has some unique challenges. So physical education, I will be in touch with my colleague Shana and let her know that we need to get some things on there for physical education. Great, some interventions for special education. I have to say that the Office of Special Education has been really working hard to populate the platform with lots of resources. So you are going to continue to find lots of resources for that. And in case you missed it earlier, I was letting you know that a module is being debuted later this week on Friday in the Engage OK in the Cloud. And it was about working with students that have challenging behaviors using a functional behavior analysis. And that's a module that's going to be available for anyone. So I'm seeing, yep, choir, yep, distance learning, the Open SciEd, such a strong program. Good, I'm loving these ideas, anti-bias and anti-racist materials, thank you. And autism, yes. That is a required training, and that is one that we can certainly see how our experts on that topic could create some resources for us. Good, I love seeing parent engagement. Yes. Wonderful ideas. The link to this, it will still be live. You can visit it later to add some more ideas there, but I'm thinking interesting kid blogs, huh? Way for kids, how kids could participate in writing blogs. I love that idea. And the choices could just go on and on. Fine arts with lots of exclamation marks. I'm hearing you loud and clearly on that. Great. All right, so I'm gonna minimize that right now. So, you know, welcome to the beginning of a new horizon, because there's so much that we can add there. Now, while my screen is showing that, again, shows my contact information, I'm happy to receive your emails or your phone calls. And also when you go to that bit.ly link, it will have all the resources from today in one folder that you can access, including this PowerPoint presentation. We have a little bit of time here, and I would like to open it up for anyone that would like to unmute themselves to ask a question, or I'll also continue to be looking in the chat box.
Susan, I had to step away. This is Ginger again. Sorry, I have lots of questions. And when you were talking about those facilitated sessions where we could like get a group of teachers together to facilitate one of those modules, does that administrator have to be the one to set those up, or can an individual teacher set that up?
So if you are wanting to be a facilitator of a module at your school with teachers at your school, the person or people that will be facilitating need to contact me, and I set the module up with them as the facilitator. If you're wanting it as a closed module for your school, it does not have to be an administrator that is a facilitator. Anyone who has an account on OKEdge and the appropriate role can serve as the facilitator.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm looking in the chat box and welcoming anyone else to unmute themselves before we move to our final activity of today. And yes, in just a minute, there is going to be a certificate provided for this. Yes, I've had a couple comments about the EL module. Right now, that EL module was piloted for elementary level with the idea that then we'd expand and have a secondary one. So thank you for those of you that made that comment, so that it will definitely be on our radar as content that we need to add. All right, I'm going to move us ahead. And one last thing. First of all, a certificate of participation for this module is at that bit.ly link. And I'm going to back up one slide and show you again. It's http://bit.ly.OKEdge. And the O and the K and the E are capitalized. I will type that in the chat again for everyone. Looks like Jill beat me to it. Thanks, moderator. Wonderful, beautiful. So you can access it either through the bit.ly link there or that link that Jill just put in. All right, so moving to our last thing. It's always good to have a moment to reflect. And if I could just have you answer these couple questions on a Google form, and Jill is going to drop the link to that in the chat. Looks like she already has. Jill, if you could put that in one more time, just so it's at the top of everyone's chat. This is just some feedback for me as a presenter. This is new territory for all of us as we learn to present in a digital environment, as many of you have done through your teaching over the past couple months. But I just really will be curious to see, and someone's saying that the PD certificates are disappearing in the Google Drive link, cannot access anymore. I'll go check that out and make sure that that certificate is in there. So I will make sure to put it back in there in case for some reason it's no longer there. So if you will go to that bit.ly link following this session, I will be sure to put the certificate back in there for anyone. Someone had to refresh, so maybe that's it. Thank you so much for participating in this session today. Your ideas energize me and inspire me. I'm hopeful that this is the launch of the OKEdge virtual learning community, just exploding with resources and support and ideas for us to collaborate together. The resources available to all Oklahoma educators, it's free, and the possibilities are endless. I'm always available to you. I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to some of you becoming module creators and facilitators. And I'm going to give you 5 minutes back to your day. So it looks like I'm still getting a message about the certificates have disappeared. So I will take care of that. And I will make sure that that's in there. Someone's giving us a hint to that if I just make it to copy, making a copy and not editing the original. So thank you for that suggestion, Kendall. And someone's needing that bit.ly link again, so we'll populate that in there. I will stay on for 5 more minutes. We have 5 more minutes before this Zoom session officially ends, and can still answer questions if anyone would like to.
Susan?
Yes.
No. Where is the link for the Google form? I missed that
This
somehow.
time it worked. They did something.
Did you find it?
HDocs, Google.
Here, I'll put it back in the chat box.
Yes,
This is for the form for your feedback.
Docs. Google.com. Oh, that's something.
For those of you also that had difficulty with the certificate, I will make sure that it is in the Google folder. I also will get email addresses of those of you that participated, and I can certainly send it out through email. So I will make sure you get that certificate.
Oh. This isn't going to be any good to me at all. How do I chat? I don't know how to chat.
I'm still here. Can I help you?
I've had all kinds of trouble getting in here, and I finally got in about the middle of the meeting, and I've been fighting with connection on my computer, and it's saying I had an incognito thing, and my SDK couldn't and I finally got in, and so I'm now having troubles just generally getting everything together here. So
that's okay.
I'm sorry.
Would you like to give me your email address, and I will email you this afternoon?
Yes, R. Ramsey.
Would you spell that, please?
R-A-M-S-E-Y LWPS@gmail.com.
Thank you. I will email you.
I think there was some sort of difficulty with when they set up the Zoom meetings and they didn't have them all toggled where they weren't in incognito mode. And finally, it wouldn't come in on either one of my browsers, and I'm now on the Edge, and it did finally show up in a browser on Hova.
Okay.
So I don't know what's going on.
Well, I know that browsers display different things. Some browsers work better on devices than others. I'm sorry for your challenges, but I have your email address, and I will make sure that you are receiving all the information. All
okay,
right.
thank you so much, because I wanted to get in here and I couldn't, and I've been on the phone to the State Department and everything else trying to figure out what was going on. This will be recorded and I can watch it on the HOVA website later too. Is that what I understand?
That is correct. We'll make sure you get the recording.
Okay, that would be wonderful.
All right, well, I'm going to stop the recording right now and wish you all a wonderful afternoon and day of learning. Thank you.
Bye-bye.